So, spoiler alert, I don't think you have a competition problem. I think you've got a clarity problem, myself included. There's plenty of people that I work with that have this issue, right? We're trying to target to everyone versus one. Everybody thinks their market's too crowded, that there's too many players, too much noise, too many people selling. But most of the time, that's not even really the issue, right? It's not that your market is completely full. In some cases, it could be. It's that your message is not resonating with the right people, your tribe. You're trying to convince everyone instead of calling in the right ones, the people that you are meant to be serving, that you are best suited to serve.
For too long, entrepreneurs and business owners have been told they have to choose between profit and purpose. If you're tired of burning out, done chasing someone else's version of success, and ready to grow with more purpose, prosperity, and peace of mind, you're in the right place. Because every business has the potential to do good and do well. I'm Chase Friedman, and this is In Pursuit of Purpose, where strategy meets soul.
We get caught up when things are tough and we're not creating new leads and it's a crowded market. We end up chasing like strangers, like straight cold outbound, regardless if we think it's going to be a good fit for our company. Instead, focus on your super consumers, your early adopters, like your tribe, your ambassadors, whatever you want to call them. Start by attracting your believers, the low-hanging fruit, the people that you feel like you can impact the most. The goal doesn't have to be win the entire category or market. The goal can be create your own sandbox, your own blue ocean. Stop playing in that red ocean. Right? That's a little bit of category strategy. Instead of working hard for a finite, smaller and smaller piece of market share in an already saturated market, quite frankly, you're going to end up just chasing the same competition and messaging and tactics as the people that are leading and winning. And that's probably the worst thing you can do. Be bold, be brave, and again, step aside over here to this other sandbox. Think about all the people that are also feeling bombarded and overwhelmed by the competition and are looking for something new and unique and fresh, right? That's your blue ocean. Stop fighting for attention and just screaming louder and doing more things and start drawing in your tribe. Maybe it's not for everybody or every business. I get that. And it does take time to build awareness and education and trust in a new category, in a new sandbox. Right? When all the kids are playing over here and it's great, and this is the go-to park and sandbox that everyone loves, it's got the best slides, but there's something new over here. No one's really playing there yet, and it's not always easy to kind of be the one outlier to go and start playing by yourself. But if you're having a blast and having a great time, no matter what this is, you're going to start getting looks, start getting attraction from people like, hey, that's fun. There's an open slide over there. I haven't done that before. And I'm tired of kind of getting pushed around on this crowded playground. I'm using like this analogy I feel like I've seen with my kids at a park before. But what you're trying to target for is not the mass, right? You don't need all the crowd, all the consumers, all the kids. Just your best friends, right? Just your tribe. Think of the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. 20% of your core tribe, your super consumers, can actually yield almost 80% of your total revenue, right? If you get that core 20%, those are your believers. Those are your ambassadors. Those are the people that are like ride or die. So many times we end up focusing on that 80%, which is overwhelming. We're never going to get there without starting with that first 20. So it's the 20% of people who get it, who need it, who will drive 80% of your revenue and referrals. That's your super consumers that you're after. Focus on your super consumers, the ones that are going to buy, that are going to tell their friends and like rep your brand like it's part of their identity. We've seen this with, whether you want to call it Supreme or Apple or Patagonia, right? These people are our tribe and our ride or die for these brands. So for a moment, I want you to forget the funnel and instead build a following. Forget trying to capture as many people as you possibly can into the funnel and build something, doesn't have to be big, that can attract and magnetize people that share the same value and the same goals and fears and aspirations. And if you speak to that on a deep emotional, psychological level of like why you're doing this, they will come, right? Otherwise, they're not going to drop into another ordinary sort of funnel with the same message and the same tactics and the same lookalike brand and features and products. They're looking for something different. Again, focus on your super consumers, the ones who will buy, tell their friends, and rep your brand like it's part of their identity. So once you find that tribe, serve those people so damn well that they turn your business into a movement. Let me give you an example. We worked with this creative studio that was stuck. They were kind of, it sounds like me when I was starting my business, trying to be all things to all people, all the services, all the tools, all the tactics, because, hey, someone out there is going to want to work with us. Instead of being singular focused on what we were best at and how we felt we can help people the most. In this case, this company, great team, great work, no traction, right? They too were trying to be everything to everyone. They were working with small businesses, nonprofits, startups, personal brands. Gosh, it almost feels like I'm talking about my early days at Vanquish in the company. I mean, it was literally that. It was literally trying to be all things to all different industries and verticals. But it was a classic mistake, right? It's hard to niche down. It's hard to actively say no to potential customers, even if you know they're not the right fit. So we had to strip it down, right? We narrowed things down to their core product and their core offer, the most compelling thing they did where they got the best results for their clients. So we forced them to kind of get honest and ask them the tough questions. What actually lights you up and your customers? What gets the best result from your work? And it clearly wasn't everyone. It was a very specific type of product and founder that they were serving. They could describe this person and this company in like great lavish detail, really because it was one of their favorite customers that has been with them for a while, this ride or die, this sort of ambassador of their brand. And they never really considered, well, how can I just get more of that favorite divine right customer and client? But once they drilled down into that one singular person, they knew they could serve, they had proof, they had experience. It was an enjoyable experience both ways. Then you can replicate that. Then you can go find lookalike people that have the same sort of need and desire and how you can serve them. So we ended up rebuilding everything, their messaging, their offer. Actually was really addition by subtraction. We stripped everything away around this one singular persona. And guess what? Total leads went down initially, but conversions doubled. And referrals like exploded because they were able to actually speak to the clients they were doing great work for and asking if they knew other people and other businesses and brands that were needing their services. And guess what? They did. So it wasn't that they were targeting volume anymore, but they were getting such aligned customers coming in their door with incredible conversion rate. And over time, less client churn, right? Greater lifetime value from those clients because they were sticking with them and doing great work with them. Everyone was happy, right? So they grew by getting clear, by removing a lot of the BS, the stuff that they thought they should be doing, but wasn't really moving the needle for them or their customers. Like that's the paradox of focus. Like narrow your audience, go narrow and deep versus wide and broad, and you can actually expand your impact, right? You're going to do better work and you're going to feel much better and clear about who you're working for and the results you're getting for them. So like make this practical. Forget the generic customer avatar stuff. I get it. And like we do this with a lot of brands as well. We want to try to kind of distill it down to a few core personas, although some businesses and brands are like, can I have 16? Can I do 16 personas? Like, no, you cannot. Get this first one or two or three right and nail it. And then we can maybe talk about it. But it's not easy because so many founders think that, well, everyone's our customer and we can sell to anybody. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. You need to know intimately the inner world of your super consumer. Like this is beyond demographics. This is, psychographics, like what they fear, what they desire, what they feel, what they're fighting for, what inspires them, what lights them up. That's it. Like that's the playbook. You got to get into the psychology of this consumer to connect on a deeply emotional way. Get deep with who they are, the kind of person, not just their job title. So for me, I love helping creative founders, entrepreneurs, and solopreneurs who are tired of the grind and feel stuck and stagnant in their businesses, right? What are they feeling? What's going on the inside? They're feeling burnt out. They're feeling unseen or unmotivated, lack of clarity. They're kind of stuck doing too much for too little. Okay, well, what do they fear? What's at stake? Well, they're scared of building a business that might look successful from the outside, but doesn't feel right and is actually draining them and making them feel like, well, I should just maybe go get another day job. This is a very meta episode for me. I felt all these things, and that's why I love helping people in this way. What are they fighting for? That's the transformation that you're helping them achieve, right? What is their before or current state and what is their after state? Well, they're going from burnt out and stressed and overwhelmed and just trying to keep up with someone else's version of success to grow at all costs when it doesn't feel authentic to them. It doesn't feel like they got into business in the first place. What they want is balance. They want to have it all. And they need to believe they can have it all. I want a business that's, that can profit with a deeper meaning of purpose, that can do good and do well. I want a business that fits my lifestyle. It gives me the flexibility to be home when I want for my kids, and also energized when I wake up in the morning to go serve my clients and customers who I deeply, deeply love and am generating great results for them. If you hit those layers and those deeper questions, you're not forcing it through marketing, right? You're building a brand, you're building a story, you're building a connection that gets people thinking, hey, that sounds like that's meant for me. That sounds like what I'm going through. That sounds like my fears and motivations and desires. Okay. Now we're developing a real deeper emotional connection. So here's a bit of a contrarian challenge for this week. Stop trying to be popular. Stop trying to chase followers and likes and engagements and comments. Especially stop looking at your competition. Stop chasing that red ocean and what everyone else is doing. Be bold, be brave, take a step out of that crowded sandbox with all the other kids and go start a little bit of a new category over here. But be precise and be intentional about why you're doing it and who you're trying to serve in a different way. Take a look at your last 10 clients. Pick the 2 that made you think, if I could clone this person or people, my job would be amazing. My life would be great. My business would thrive. So really get down to that 1 to 2 ideal divine right clients and unpack and understand everything you possibly can about them. And ask them, why did you decide to work with me? Why do you think this is a good relationship? How am I helping you overcome your challenges? What are your motivations and fears and desires? Make it a therapy session. But if you can get that level of depth and granularity, and you can infuse that in your brand identity, in your message, in your storytelling, people out there are going to be connecting with it. They're going to know you're speaking to them. This is going to be one-to-one versus one-to-many. People are going to lean in and say, aha, this person gets me. I might be looking at 10 other competitors, but none of them really understand what I'm going through. They might have a slightly better price, but you know what? I'm going to pay more for this service because I believe this is aligned with what I truly am looking for in my life and in my business, right? I'd be willing to pay a little bit more. I'd be willing to sacrifice quite a few different things if I knew that I was going to be handled and served in a way that I felt comfortable with someone that shares similar values and ethics around business, whatever it might be. So study that 1 to maybe 2 divine, right, ideal client. What do they believe? What do they want? What made them say yes? Like that is your tribe. Make that your tribe. From one of those to then many. That's your category. That's your blue ocean you want to exist in. Because again, we got to stop playing this game about being louder and shouting over each other. It's about getting clear and more strategic and more surgical. You don't need 10,000 lukewarm followers just for the empty metrics and vanity of it. You need 100 diehards who see themselves in your story and can't stop talking about it. They're going to refer their friends and be a customer for life. So find your people, speak their language, and watch how fast clarity can turn into momentum. I appreciate you tuning in today. I hope this brought you a bit of confidence, clarity, and conviction on your business journey. If something here resonated, do me a favor, leave a quick review or share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. It goes a long way in helping more people find the show and start their own journey. And as always, you'll find all the resources and ways to connect with me in the show notes. Now, go take that next step in building the business you've been dreaming of. Wishing you continued purpose, prosperity, and peace of mind.